Things I'm asked is, how do I come up with my ideas for my stories? I'm not really sure, actually. Things just kind of strike my fancy. I don't just sit and go, let's write a story about a meteor hitting the Earth and we're all stuck in one dome and we have to figure out how we're going to survive when everything else outside's dead. It doesn't work like that. And lightning doesn't strike me either. It's kind of, I don't know, it just comes to me. Sometimes someone will say something and my imagination will start turning and I'll go, man, that would be so cool, make a story out of that. I've gotten some like that. Then sometimes, like the one story that I didn't finish it, but I'm hoping to probably in the near future. I did a creative writing course in college because I was trying to get a teaching degree or teaching license here in Florida, and I took well, actually it was a children's lit course, and the teacher gave us an assignment where we had to write a short story based off of visual prompts. We were given 4 different visual items, and we were told we had to make a 3,000-word short story using all 4 of those visual cues. In my packet was a forest, a mermaid, a parrot, and then a dragon pendant. So I, doing the famous Lakisha procrastination dance, waited till the day of. I got up, it was, oh my gosh, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and was freaking out because this was a major component of our grade. And Miss Monair, if you're seeing this, you now know the secret. Pressure writing. But I got up and I was pacing, and my mom was, making fun of me, laughing at me because I had waited till the last moment. She says, well, if you get an F, you totally deserve it. Which, I know, I would have. But it struck me as I was pacing back and forth with the paper, the visual cues in my hands, and I'm going, wouldn't it be cool if the parrot was not just a parrot that could talk, but a magical talking parrot, and that the forest was holding something special? And what if the girl was a mermaid, but she didn't know she was a mermaid? And it just kind of came together from there. I sat down and I spent the next 2.5 hours typing like a mad fiend. I had to hurry up because the class started at 9, and at 8:15 my mom's like, hurry Keisha, hurry, you're going to be late. I did a quick spell check with Microsoft Word, printed that bad boy out, snatched it up, got my car, and made it to class on time. Turned it in and promptly forgot about it because we were going into Thanksgiving break. So we came back from the break and we go to class, and I learned that day that my story, along with 2 others in the class out of 25 entries basically, Miss Monair picked as the 3 best. And she read them all aloud. And mine she saved till the very last. And she started reading it. And I have to admit, that's the first time I've ever had someone read something I wrote and read it out loud. Very unique experience. Okay, very, very unique. And interesting all at once to watch someone read your stuff. But she read it, and I was basically wound so tight. I'm sure if anyone had just tapped me, I probably would have shattered. She read it, and then the way the short story ended was kind of abrupt, but it was because I had to stay in the 3,000-word limit, and I procrastinated because I didn't get the full story. She gets to the end, and there's this silence. So I'm sweating, even though she thought it was the best. I'm now thinking, God, they all hate it because no one's saying anything. But the other 2 stories, we all clapped and were like, oh, great job, but no one was saying anything on mine, so I thought, okay, I suck as a writer. Well, it wasn't that I sucked, it was more that everybody was stunned and a little surprised and couldn't believe that I ended it where I ended it. They wanted to know what happened. So Miss Monair looks me in the eye and says, you are going to finish this, right? Sure I am. Yeah, that one's kind of in my filing cabinet drawer, marked under to finish. I'll get around to it one day, I promise. I'm serious. But yeah, so anything can spark that was a major tangent, I'm sorry, but anything can kind of spark my imagination and make me think of things. Also, to let people in on a little secret, when I write with a mental movie playing. And I know a lot of writers do that too, but when I say mental movie, I mean literally, in my mind's eye, I picture myself sitting in a movie theater and my story playing out in front of me. And I write like that. Because I can see it more vividly. Not sure why, but that's just how I write it. And so it always makes me feel pretty good when people read my stuff and they go, wow, I could totally picture this on the big screen. That means they got it. That means I wrote it well enough and described it well enough and, fleshed it out well enough that you got that same feeling that I was aiming for, because I enjoy it. And if I could sit back and just go into my mind and enjoy a mental movie for one night and eat popcorn, it would be great, because I would just enjoy chilling and hanging out with my characters. One other thing I get asked a lot too is, what do I think about being self-published? I think it's a nice freedom in a way, but it's also kind of still in the industry a stigma, if that makes sense. Because when you tell people you're self-published, you get one or two reactions. You get, oh, well, I know someone that's self-published, which that's always a really nice positive one, so, you don't get your teeth set on edge on that one. But then you get those that go, oh, you're self-published. In that condescending manner, that drives me up a wall. There's nothing wrong with being self-published. Okay, I've met quite a few self-published authors. Actually, I was reading on the internet the other day that they're not calling themselves self-published authors, they're calling themselves indie authors. Independent, but indie authors, and I love that. So, fellow indie authors, just because you are one of those and you do self-publish does not make you bad, does not make you horrible. I've read quite a bit of books by people that did not go with a major house or got turned down by major publishing houses, and just decided that, hey, this is kind of what I want to do, and I'm going to self-publish it and just get it out there and see what goes on. And quite a few of them have some really nice followings, and they have fans. So I think it depends upon your motivation. I had stars in my eyes for a little bit and decided to try for some of the major houses, and after several rejection letters, which rejection per se doesn't bother me, it's more like a, darn, I didn't get it right this time. So I strive to perfect it and try to get, better way of marketing myself. But after, trying for about a year, I decided that maybe my ideals were just a bit out there. So I wanted to publish my stuff because I felt that it was good enough for others to read, and I wanted, I wanted a book. I wanted to have my own book with my own name, I'll admit it. So, that's kind of how the self-publishing came about for me. Not sure how it works for everybody else, but that's how it happened for me. And I just noticed what time it was, so I'm going to have to, tell you guys goodbye for right now. But I hope you will come back, because in future installments I will talk about my first book that I got published this year, which was Jules, and you'll learn a little bit about it and some special information about the characters and news about the series. There will also be a video on my young adult novel, which is Rear Love, Death Conspiracy, the first book in that series. I'll talk about that, a little bit about the background on it, as well as the characters, where I plan to go with the series. And, there's so much more that I can do now that I've gotten over my nerves about doing a video log. So thank you very much for coming in and pulling up a chair. I hope to see you again in the future, and good night.